Namaste, Adab and Sat Shri Akal to all Barbar Rafi members and Rafi Saab fans. I am Beena Krishna, core committee member of Barbar Rafi, Bangalore. Sahir Ludhianvi, one of the greatest Indian poets and lyricists of the Hindi film world, was born on March 8th, 1921. Today, this year, we are commemorating his birth anniversary, 100th birth anniversary, that is the birth centenary of the great Indian poet and lyricist. और आज के दिन हम आपको एक ऐसी हस्ती से मिलाना चाहते हैं जिन्होंने साहिर लुधियानवी साहब पर ढेर सारा खोज किया है और उनकी जिंदगी पर के बारे में बहुत सारी जानकारी प्राप्त की है. He has written a book on Sahir Saab called Sahir Ludhianvi, the People's Poet. Akshay Manwani is a freelance writer and published author. His work reflects his twin passions for basketball and Indian cinema. He is also an NBA commentator. He undertakes research assignments for film, television, and other content driven projects. अक्षय मनवानी जी प्रणाम.
नमस्ते, आदाब.
आपका तहे दिल से स्वागत है बारबार रफी के इस ऑनलाइन महफिल में जिसका नाम है जो बात तुझ में है. So we would like to ask you a few questions about Sahir Saab, on the so much of research that you have done on this subject.
Sure.
Yeah. So Akshay ji, there are a few books about Sahir Ludhianvi's poetry, his film songs too, that we can find, we can get to read. But is it correct to say that yours is the only book that has been published till date that has detailed Sahir Saab's life story? How did you zero in about the idea of writing a book about Sahir Ludhianvi?
Well, actually, Beena ji, I was working in the corporate world and, I was beginning to get disillusioned with it. So I used to do some freelance writing and, there was a friend of mine. She's still a very good friend. She was editing a film website back in the day. It was a website called filmnirvana.com. So she knew that I was a very avid Hindi film buff and all that. So she, their website was having short profiles on every Hindi film personality. So she had asked me to write these short profiles. These profiles were literally about, I think, 70 to 80 words.
Correct.
So she had sent me she had sent me a lot I had written about, I think, close to 50, 60 profiles, but one bunch was only of lyricists. Mm-hmm. So Majroor Saab, Kaifi Saab, Sahir Saab, Shailendra, Hasrat, Janisar Akhtar. So when I was reading up to write these profiles, I realized that I knew the songs of these people, but I did not know that those songs were written by these people. तो हमें जो जागीर में मिली वो हमें ये नॉलेज मिली कि किसने गाया है या किस पे पिक्चराइज किया गया है, तो किसने लिखा है वो हमें नहीं मालूम था जी. तो जब when I started reading more about these people, because I found it very, you know something about R.D. Burman, you know something about S.D. Burman, you know something about Rafi Saab, you know something about Kishore Da, you don't know anything about the lyricists. So I started finding it fascinating, but unfortunately there was nothing available in English. There was nothing available on any of the lyricists at that point in time. I am talking about 2009, 12 years ago. So you can imagine what it was. तो जब मैंने इनिशियली माय आइडिया वाज कि ये जो 50s एंड 60s का जो हम जिसके गोल्डन पीरियड मानते हैं, उस ज़माने के जो 5-6 मेन लिरिसिस्ट थे, चाहे शकील साहब, राजा मेहदी अली खान साहब, साहिर साहब, हसरत, शैलेंद्र, मजरू साहब, इन पर मैंने सोचा था कि आई विल राइट अ बुक विच इज़ अबाउट दीज 5 or 6 or 7 मेन लिरिसिस्ट. But interestingly, what happened is around that time, there was this book that had come out called Bollywood Melodies by Ganesh Anantraman. He's Bangalore based only. And it was a national award winning book. And he has basically traced the history of the Hindi film song from the 1930s all the way till the early 21st century, the first decade of the 21st century. And I think that book came out in 2005 or 6. So he had divided the book into 3 sections: the composers from 1930s to 21st century, early 21st century, similarly the lyricists, and similarly that. So I said, in any case, he has given 40-50 pages to the lyricist, which is the smallest section of the book, and usme bhi the majority is given to these 50-60s lyricists. So I said, for me to repeat that, even if it is in a bigger form, it will not be, the right thing to do, right? Instead, let me focus on one person. Sahir's story lent itself very beautifully to the purpose of a book, to a biography. The kind of life experiences he had, even Shailendra's is a very rich life, but Sahir's is like, हर मोड़ पर उनके जिंदगी में कुछ हो रहा है, right? Her experience is finding its way into its either his poetry or into his songwriting. So I just thought that, given that there was so little information out there, nothing in English, जो भी थोड़ा सा है वो उर्दू में है, और वो भी उनकी नॉन फिल्मी शायरी के बारे में है, और उनकी शुरुआती जिंदगी के बारे में है, तो मैंने कहा कि there is a very big gap over there. So why not try and fill that gap? So that's why the Sahir idea came. That's how it came about.
That's very nice. That's interesting. Okay, let's go back, go directly to Sahir, and let's learn about something from you about him. Let me start by asking you about his childhood. Your research delves into his childhood quite extensively. Would
Right.
you say that it ultimately shaped his adulthood?
Oh yes, most certainly. I mean, if you look at, there is that famous poem of his, दो लाइन जो है उनके कि जिंदगी ने तजुर्बात और हवादिस की शक्ल में जो कुछ दिया है लौटा रहा हूँ मैं, और वेरियस अदर, अगर आप उनके नज़में पढ़ेंगे तो उसमें बार बार उन्होंने ये कहा है, उनका जिक्र जाता है अपनी माजी की ओर, टू हिज पास्ट. एंड चाहे अगर आप उनकी एक नज़्म है जागीर, where he has made fun, or actually not fun, he's mocking his ancestors, zamindar ancestors. His father was a debauched zamindar. So, that दुनिया ने तजुर्बात और हवादिश की शक्ल में means by way of experience or accident, whatever it has given me, I return it now. So you need to know who this person was. Where did he come from? Which is why I think one of the easier things to do with the book was that this has to be told in a linear way. It cannot be we start somewhere in the middle of his life, then we go back, then we come again forward, then we go back again. वैसा structure नहीं होता, because that would leave the reader very confused. You had to tell the reader that this were his life experiences as a child. The father was this kind of, like I have written in the book, अगर किसी ने मधुमती देखा है, हाँ देखिए पिक्चर, तो उसमें जैसे प्राण का विलेनस कैरेक्टर होता है, अय्याश जमींदार, राइट? दैट वाज द रेफरेंस पॉइंट फॉर व्हेन आई वाज रिसर्चिंग एंड interviewing people, and they told me, or I read about Sahir's father, that is the image that came to my mind. His mother was his father's 12th or 13th wife. Even I have lost count. You will find the figure in my book, right? And Sahir's original name was Abdul Hai. Yes. और कहा जाता है कि उनके एक नेबर थे अब्दुल हई, और वो there was some land dispute with that चौधरी फजल मोहम्मद जो उनके वालिद थे, उनका अब्दुल हई जो उनके पड़ोसी थे उनके साथ चल रहा था, और रोज शाम को शराब के नशे में वो उनको जोर जोर से गाली सुनाते थे. तो जब वो आते थे जनाब उनसे पूछने के लिए कि यार तुम ऐसे बदतमीजी क्यों कर रहे हो, मुझे गाली क्यों दे रहे हो, तो वो बोलता था कि अरे नहीं, मैं तो अपने लड़के को डांट रहा हूँ. So that is the kind of experience that the son grew up in. The mother sought separation. When the judge asked that who do you want to live with, the child said, I want to live with my mother. The father was of the opinion that a child who is born to a zamindar, what does he require an education for? विरासत में इतनी जमीन वगैरह मिलेगी, पढ़ने की क्या जरूरत है? And then after the separation happens, his mother constantly feared that the father would kidnap their son and take him back. So all that kind of experiences are there. तो अगर आप ये ऐसे भी गाने सुनेंगे जैसे उन्होंने लिखे हैं, साधना फिल्म के लिए औरत ने जन्म दिया मर्दों को, मर्दों ने उन्हें बाजार दिया, या प्यासा का गाना है जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पर, वो कहाँ है, और वो मदद चाहती है हवा की बेटी, यशोदा की हम जिन्स जुलेखा की बेटी. ये सब जो है एम्पैथी टुवर्ड्स द फीमेल फिगर, ये सब उनके बचपन से आता है. क्या एक्सपीरियंसेस थी उनकी, कैसा था उनका उनके वालिद के साथ रिलेशनशिप, या क्या देखा उन्होंने, वो सब उनके पोएट्री में दिखाई देता है.
He had a traumatic childhood.
very traumatic,
Yeah, very
dysfunctional.
traumatic, very dysfunctional. Yes.
Yeah.
Then, okay. So Sahir, as he grew up, he got involved in the progressive writers movement.
Right.
So, what was this movement, and why did he get involved in it?
Basically, it was a movement in Urdu literature. And, you know, this was basically, I think these 4 or 5 writers had authored a book of some short stories where, you know, a lot of the stories were touching upon taboo topics. राइट
Okay.
मतलब उस जमाने में 1935 या 1934 जो भी वो जिस भी साल में ये किताब उनकी छपी थी, उस जमाने में वो इन जो उन्होंने मुद्दों को टच किया था वो मतलब इट वाज लाइक यू नो censored you know kind of topics were broached through those stories. So that is what that I think book of short stories became the you know the foundation of the progressive writers movement. Ki what is art cannot exist for art's sake, literature cannot be for literature's sake. You know, I am writing about the fairies and the you know poetry में जैसे उर्दू क्लासिकल उर्दू पोएट्री में साकी होता है और जाम होता है और मैखाना होता है और you know कांटे होते हैं और गुलाब होते हैं. It cannot just be for literature, cannot be for literature's sake. There has to be a purpose to literature, where the issues facing society, the issues facing the common man, the atrocities that are being heaped upon him, that is discussed either through your poetry or through your literature. And you know, the founding fathers of this movement in Urdu literature were Sajjad Zahir Saab. You know, Munshi Premchand was also associated with it. I think he spelled out the objectives of the movement. He was called to you know address. There were various chapters that were held, and till 1947 1948 तो it was काफी जोरों शोरों से ये जो movement है काफी इसने हवा पकड़ी थी. After independence, for whatever reason, political reasons, and you know over the language of politics, or the politics over the language rather, the movement lost steam. But all these writers, Majrooh Saab, Sahir Saab, Kaifi Azmi Saab, they were all, you know, because their poetry was that kind of, you know, discussing issues facing the common man.
Yeah. Revolutionary
the writers,
poetry.
yes, the writers, Rajinder Singh Bedi, Ismat Apa, Manto, Krishan Chandar, ये इन सब की जो राइटिंग्स थी वो यू नो इट वाज नॉट जस्ट लिटरेचर फॉर लिटरेचर सेक बट डिस्कसिंग द इश्यूज फेसिंग द मार्जिनलाइज्ड कम्युनिटीज, द ओप्रेस्ड, दे वांटेड एन इगैलिटेरियन सोसाइटी. तो उस हिसाब से उनका लिटरेचर था. तो ये प्रोग्रेसिव राइटर्स मूवमेंट के बारे में थोड़ा सा मैंने आपको बताया है. और इसी मूवमेंट के अंदर साहिर को इनकलाबी शायर का वो क्या कहते हैं टाइटल दिया गया था, बिकॉज उनकी शायरी में एक इनकलाब झलकती थी. मतलब इतने feisty लाइंस लिखे हैं उन्होंने. तो एंड यू नो इफ यू लुक एट हिज अर्ली वर्क, एक शहंशाह ने दौलत का सहारा लेकर हम गरीबों की मोहब्बत का उड़ाया है मजाक. नाउ पीपल, यस, आई मीन वो तो मूवी गजल में आई थी जो सुनील दत्त की पिक्चर थी, बट दैट वाज अ नज़्म बिफोर.
Yes, it is taken from his original poetry.
Yes, you see the you know you see the anger in those lines. You know, एक शहंशाह ने दौलत का सहारा लेकर हम गरीबों की मोहब्बत का उड़ाया है मजाक, मेरी महबूब मुझसे कहीं और मिलाकर मुझसे, और मिलाकर मुझसे. सो वो जो एंगर था उस वजह से उनको इनकलाबी शायर कहा गया. अब उनके मुताबिक वो कुछ नया तो ऐसा अलग नहीं बयां कर रहे थे, पर जो उन्होंने जिंदगी गुजारी थी, जो उन्होंने एक्सपीरियंस किया था, वो वही सच का बयां कर रहे थे अपनी शायरी के माध्यम से.
So how did the partition affect Sahir?
So again, you know, what happens with Sahir is Sahir had come to, you know, many people consider 1951, you know, that Saza and that other film जिसमें वो गाना है ठंडी हवाएं लहरा के आई, वो जिस भी मूवी का गाना है, many people think that that is the first film for which Sahir Saab wrote songs, but that is not true. Actually, he had come to Bombay around 46-47, just a little before the partition, and he had written songs for a film called आजादी की राह पर. और इसी दौरान जब उन्होंने वो गाने लिखे थे तो पार्टीशन हुआ. तो उनकी मदर जो थी वो लाहौर में, वो लुधियाना में थी। फिर उन्हें वो जब वापस गए पार्टीशन के टाइम, जिस तरीके से आग लगी हुई थी नॉर्थ वेस्ट इंडिया में, तो वो अपनी माँ को ढूंढने गए। उनको पता चला कि उनकी माँ लुधियाना से लाहौर गई हैं, बट इसी दौरान उनको दिल्ली से गुजरना पड़ा। तो उन्होंने जो राइट्स देखी, राइट, उनके आंखों के सामने ये घटनाएं घट रही थी, सो दे ऑल इम्पैक्टेड हिम वेरी सीरियसली। इनफैक्ट टू ऑफ हिज very famous nazms are written around the time that independence and the partition is happening. One of them is called Mafahimat, और दूसरा था आई थिंक आज करके एक उनकी नज्म है। तो उसमें वो यही बयां कर रहे हैं कि ये जो जिस प्रकार की हमने आज़ादी की उम्मीद की थी, ये वो आज़ादी तो है नहीं। Or all this bloodshed that is happening, this is not warranted at all. And so having gone there to Lahore, he finds his mother, he comes back because he lives in Pakistan, the new nation state which was founded, but he didn't like the theocratic foundations of that state. So he decided to return to India, and simultaneously he was also working for some Urdu publications and all, and his writings didn't go down well with the authorities. So there was a warrant issued for him. He had to run back. He came back. He lived in Delhi for about a year or so, and then he came to Bombay of that time eventually. But partition को इन्होंने अपनी सामने से देखा। इट्स नॉट कि वो मुंबई में थे या बॉम्बे में थे और पार्टीशन उनसे कहीं दूर हो रहा था। जब वो अपनी माँ को ढूंढने वापस जा रहे थे, तो ये सब उनके सामने होता देख रहे थे। तो इसीलिए शायद
so the partition made him decide finally that he will move to India, because he couldn't bear to have a to live in a place where only Muslims were there. He had a lot of Hindu friends, a lot of Sikh friends.
Correct.
And he really wanted to be with everyone.
Correct. See, you have to understand about Sahir. मैंने जैसे ये कुछ साल पहले ये जो किताब है आपके राइट पे बैठी हुई है, मेरे लेफ्ट पे है, ये जो किताब है, मैंने इसके बारे में कुछ साल पहले, आज से तकरीबन 4 साल पहले, मैंने फेसबुक पे पोस्ट डाला था कि दिस मैन वाज अ उर्दू पोएट। ही वाज बोर्न इन पंजाब, राइट। उर्दू शायर जिसका जन्म पंजाब में हुआ है, उसके बारे में मैंने एक किताब लिखी अंग्रेजी में, राइट। और the reason I published that Facebook post was because at that point in time that this book had been published in Marathi.
I see.
So just imagine an Urdu poet who was born in Punjab, whose mother tongue is Punjabi. I have written a book about him in English. He used to write songs in Hindustani, and now there is a translated version available in Marathi. So ये हिंदुस्तान की खूबसूरती है।
जी बिल्कुल, जी बिल्कुल।
तो वहां पर जहां वो गए थे अपनी माँ को ढूंढने के लिए, और कई लोगों ने चाहा भी था कि वो शायद वहीं रह जाते, वो बात उनको हजम नहीं हो रही थी, बिकॉज वो जो सिंक्रेटिक एनवायरनमेंट था या फिर सेक्युलर एनवायरनमेंट था जो उन्होंने एक्सपीरियंस किया था। सम ऑफ हिज बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स लाइक अजय चित्रकार साहब, नो लॉन्गर अलाइव, ही वाज अ सिख जेंटलमैन। कृष्ण अदीब फ्रॉम लुधियाना itself. A lot of these people were from different cultural backgrounds than Sahir's own. So he was already conditioned to, having that kind of secular environment around him. He was not comfortable over there.
Yes, right. And so he was a very well-known poet before he became a film lyricist. Now let's go to the films.
Yes.
How did this transition take place, coming to Bombay from Delhi and started writing for films?
Well, again, like I said, that Azadi Ki Raah Par is an exception. I mean, one doesn't even know the exact circumstances under which he got that break. But once he goes back to look for his mother, and then, he has to flee Pakistan to come back. He stays for a year, I think, in Delhi, and then he comes to Mumbai, Bombay.
He always wanted to.
He always बड़ा सॉन्ग राइटर बनूंगा। वो मेरे एक चैप्टर का नाम है। वो उनके दोस्त हमीद अख्तर साहब, जो उस समय जिंदा थे जब मैंने उनको इंटरव्यू किया था 2010 में, आज से 10 साल पहले, 10-11 साल पहले, तो उन्होंने मुझे बताया था कि ये उनका एक तकिया कलाम हुआ करता था कि मैं बड़ा सॉन्ग राइटर बनूंगा। सो दैट एस्पिरेशन वाज देयर, बट व्हेन ही केम बैक टू बॉम्बे फॉर द सेकंड टाइम, इट वाजंट इजी। देयर आर स्टोरीज व्हिच आई हैव डिटेल्ड इन द बुक वेयर he was turned down. Many people thought that the film medium is a commercial medium. It is not a medium for people who have achieved literary acceptance in the world of literature. it's very difficult for those people to, you know, bend their songwriting style to the demands
Right.
Of the composer and the producer and all. Because see, you have to understand, this time when Sahir comes to the industry is about the same time that all these people, you know, maybe you can say 2-3 years idhar udhar. Majroo Saab has just entered 1946 mein, Shahjahan unki aayi thi. Shailendra has just entered with Raj Kapoor, I think Aag or Barsat, whichever was his first film. So there's not a lot of, you know, nobody has been, the poets have not been there for 10 years, right? उससे पहले जो थे कवि प्रदीप या DN Madhok, they were not writing that literary style of poetry which became the norm in the 50s, right? So there was no what do you call benchmark, so to say. तो ये एक था कि यार हम एक पोएट के साथ डील करेंगे, वो कर पाएगा नहीं कर पाएगा एंड ऑल दैट. So you know, that was that anxiety. There are certain other episodes that I have detailed कि किसी ने कुछ बात कह दी, उनको अच्छी नहीं लगी, किसी ने उन्हें बोला कि you know, अगर तुमको you know खाने की जरूरत है तो पैसे ले लो, फिल्मों पर ध्यान मत दो, and you know, he got offended.
Yeah.
So it was difficult.
It was a transition. It was a big transition.
Yes.
From being a poet to being a Hindi film lyricist, which required a different kind of approach, probably.
Yes.
I mean, according to the music directors of those times.
Yes. And then eventually, you know, I think somebody told him that S.D. Burman was looking for
Pyasa,
lyricist, right?
Yeah.
No,
Let's
Pyasa
talk about
is
Pyasa.
much later. Yeah, Pyasa is a little later, but I'm saying, you know, he went over there, Green Hotel in Khar. I live in Bandra, which is not very far. And you know, S.D. Burman साहब gave him that tune, you know, ठंडी हवाएं लहरा के आई, और उन्होंने उसी ट्यून पर आई थिंक एक बार और बोला कि मुझे सुना दीजिए, और वहीं पे उन्होंने, you know, लाइंस दे दी उनको. वो जो S.D. बर्मन के साथ जो उनकी जोड़ी जमी, वो तो बहुत ही, you know, the kind of films that they did together, Devdas, Taxi Driver, Fantoosh, एक से बढ़कर एक.
Which ended with Pyasa, but let's come to Pyasa. The songs are so iconic. Absolutely. Especially those sung by Rafi Saab are very iconic. Tell us something about the making of these songs, or what makes it a special album, or is there any other Sahir album also which, you know, equally compares to it? What is your point?
So there are 2-3 things that happened with I would say with Pyasa. See, if you look at Sahir Saab's you know, the earlier work with S.D. Burman, like I mentioned, all these films, Munim Ji, Taxi Driver, House Number 44, Bazi, Jal. अब इन मूवीज में भी, you know, there is some socio-political statement that is being made. दुनिया की गाड़ियां चलती हैं झूठ पर, दुनिया को मार दे बाटे के बूट पर. बट ये सब जो ये जैसे लाइंस है ना, ये फन सॉन्ग के यू नो डिस्गाइज में कहा जा रहा है, तो नो वन रियली पेज अटेंशन टू द लिरिक्स, क्योंकि ये तो फन सॉन्ग है, इसको इज नॉट सपोज्ड टू बी टेकन सीरियसली. बट देयर इज अ सोशियो पॉलिटिकल स्टेटमेंट दैट इज बीइंग मेड कि दुनिया की गाड़ियां चलती हैं झूठ पर, दुनिया को मार दे बाटे के बूट पर, राइट? तो देने वाला जब भी देता पूरा छप्पड़ फाड़ के देता, एंड देन मलंग को something bean बांध के मार के देता. You know, again, it is about, you know, God only blessing the people who are already wealthy as opposed to the people who don't have, right? तो अब इसके अपोज प्यासा में जैसे गाने हैं, for example, you know, the 2 songs that Rafi Saab has sung, जला दो
महलों तक तो, and ये कुछ ये नीला.
करेक्ट. जिन्हें नाज हैं हिंद पर कहाँ है. अब उनमें क्या हो रहा है, फॉर द seemingly first time there is a somebody with, you know, you look at the orchestration also, there is hardly any accompanying music, right? In fact, जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पर तो आपको शायद बैकग्राउंड में कुछ प्ले हो रहा है. I'm not an expert, I don't know what is playing, but Rafi Saab's vocals are what are in prime focus, right? So suddenly now somebody is stating it very bluntly, very directly कि जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पर वो कहाँ है, you know, मदद मांगती है ये हवा की बेटी, यहाँ पीर भी आते हैं तनो मन जवाबी, you know. वो उनकी जो ओरिजिनल नज़्म थी उसका नाम चकले था, which means brothels, right? और वो लाइन जो है, जो मेन लाइन थी, सना खाने तकदी से मशरिक कहाँ है, उसको बदल दिया गया है और मेड इट मोर पैलेटेबल, इजियर टू अंडरस्टैंड, जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पर वो कहाँ है, क्योंकि साहिर अंडरस्टूड कि ये लाइन किसी को समझ में नहीं आएगी. तो अब यहाँ पर somebody is, you know, directly calling out the leaders of the nation. जरा मुल्क के रहबरों को बुलाओ, उन्हें ये मंजर ये कूचे दिखलाओ, जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पर वो कहाँ है। और जिस तरीके से रफ़ी साहब ने उसे गाया, इन दिस सॉन्ग तो ही हैज गिवन इट पेथोस, बट इन द अदर सॉन्ग, अभी हाल ही में मैंने एक आर्टिकल भी लिखा है जिसमें मैंने कहा है कि ये दुनिया अगर मिल भी जाए तो क्या है, इट एक्चुअली बिगिंस ऑन अ स्लो बॉयल। You know, शुरू में Rafi Saab is brooding. He is being sarcastic. The lyrics are sarcastic, right? But when he goes to the, अगर आप end की ओर जाएंगे, suddenly the anger, he is not able to control his frustration, his anger any longer, the poet. So through Mohammad Rafi's excellent singing skills, there is a opening of the floodgates, so to say. जला दो, फूक डालो ये दुनिया, तुम्हारी है, तुम ही संभालो ये दुनिया, right?
Wow.
So for the first time ever, there was this kind of direct, without mincing any words, blunt attack on what has our society become, where materialism is become everything. Yeah, I think one of the lines is, ये दुनिया जहाँ दोस्ती कुछ नहीं, वफा कुछ नहीं, something like that, and this is being written in the 50s. Sometimes I shudder to think what he would have written if he was in 2021, where
really?
we are absolutely materialistic. There's no two ways
about
it.
It is the same thing, just in a little bit of higher level. I could say it's the same.
It's the same. In fact, it's much worse according to me. So now what happens is, if you look at even something which I've mentioned in the book, that if you see the advertisements for Pyasa, they begin with, before the movie is released, they show Guru Dutt, they show Wahida Rahman, S.D. Burman, composer, उसके नीचे साहिर साहब का नाम लिखा है, नहीं लिखा हुआ है, छोटे में लिखा है, S.D. Burman साहब के नाम से लिखा है. But after the film release, suddenly the lyrics are being published as the advertisement for the film. As you head into week 3, week 4, I have shared images in the book. So clearly there is an acknowledgement, or there's an acceptance that the songs are what is giving that film its conscience, its X factor, you can say.
Right.
And undoubtedly it is a very good film. It has a very hard-hitting message, moral science lessons, you can say. Another film, since you asked me what other film do you think, one of the films that I was pleasantly surprised, because we always hear of Hum Dono, and we hear of Waqt, and we hear of Kabhi Kabhi, and we hear of Chitralekha or Naya Daur. One of the films that I was very happy to discover during the course of my research was Fir Subah Hogi.
Wow.
जो कि रमेश सहगल साहब ने डायरेक्ट की थी, खयाम साहब ने म्यूजिक दिया था, और उसमें भी गाने अगर आप सुनेंगे, इनफैक्ट आई समटाइम्स आई फील कि साहिर हैज गॉन इवन वन लेवल फर्दर ओवर देयर, बिकॉज यहाँ तो वो सिर्फ आदमियों पर इल्जाम डाल रहा है ना, जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पर वो कहाँ है, या जला दो इसे, फूंक डालो ये महलो ये तख्तो ये ताजों की दुनिया. वहां तो वो डायरेक्ट खुदा से बात कर रहा है, आसमां पे है खुदा और जमीन पे हम. आजकल वो इस तरफ देखता है कम. I don't think he would have been able to write this line in today's times. He would not. It would have been considered sacrilege, blasphemy. So जिस प्रकार के hard hitting lyrics उन्होंने वहां उस फिल्म में लिखी हैं, I think he has gone to another level.
Only. Right.
और वो पिक्चर भी बहुत खूबसूरत बनाई गई है, जो कि एडेप्टेशन थी दोस्तोव्स्की की क्राइम और पनिशमेंट.
जी. That's so nice. You have met so many music directors during your research. Any anecdotes that you can share with our members? Anything about Rafi Saab or anything,
I personally feel that all the great Sahir songs, I don't think you can say that ये जानबूझ के ऐसा हुआ या ये planned way में ऐसा हुआ, but मुझे जहाँ तक लगता है कि जितने, अगर हम साहिर साहब के मशहूर गाने उठाएंगे, जैसे अभी हमने प्यासा के दो गानों का जिक्र किया, या फिर अगर आप हम दोनों के गाने सुने, मैं जिंदगी का साथ निभाता चला गया, या फिर कभी खुद पे कभी हालात पे रोना आया, या मन रे तू काहे ना धीर धरे, जिसको आउटलुक ने आई थिंक that ranking of the top songs में number 1 उसको रैंक किया था. ये सब रफ़ी साहब ने गाए हैं. And I think उसकी, हालांकि मैंने ये किताब में नहीं लिखी है, but I over a period of time you keep refining your thoughts and you keep filtering them, and you wish you had done a better job, and I always feel I could have done a better job with that book. Is that I think the kind of emotion that Rafi Saab used to give, again, this is not to offend any Mukesh fans or तलत साब्स फैंस और किशोर कुमार फैंस, बट आई थिंक द वो जो तलफ़ुज़ है, जो डिक्शन है और उसके साथ में अकम्पनिंग इमोशन है, वो रफ़ी साहब का एकदम ऑन पॉइंट हुआ करता था. व्हेन यू लिसन टू द टाइटल सॉन्ग ऑफ वक्त, वक्त से दिन और रात, और जब वो बलराज साहनी गुजर रहा है उस जगह से जहां पर भूकंप आई है, यू फील लाइक क्राइंग विथ हिम. वो जो उनकी आवाज में सिसकियां वो भर रहे हैं, राइट. और जब वो कह रहे हैं कि कभी हालात पे, कभी खुद पे, कभी हालात पे रोना है, यू फील लाइक क्राइंग विथ हिम, राइट. या फिर ये प्यासा के गाने आप देखिए, यू फील द पेन, you feel the anguish, you feel rotten about the fact कि ये महलों, ये तख्तों, ये ताजों की दुनिया. तो वो जो है, हालांकि like I said, nobody, I did not have, the book was about Sahir, but this is only, because I am also a very big Rafi Saab fan. और मैंने एक आर्टिकल में इसका जिक्र भी किया था स्क्रोल में, कि वो जो उनकी हरकतें होती थी, मुर्गियाँ लेते थे, डिक्शन, तलफ़ुज़, it was so brilliant. I don't think you can even say brilliant. There must be some other word which has not been invented.
Not invented for Rafi Saab. And
Correct.
It suited like Sahir's use of Urdu and Rafi Saab's pronunciation and the way he could, depict it was like, made for each other.
Yes. एक मेरे दोस्त हैं, उनका नाम है राहुल भट्टाचार्य. He's a very well-known English author. He's an award-winning author. The 2 books that he has authored have got a lot of acclaim. And he, in his second book, which is it was a novel, it is based in the West Indies. He has a character in that book which talks about, I mean, this is a character in the West Indies, you can imagine. He says that the character, and I'm quoting him, is about Rafi Saab, that here how he play with the syllable. I mean, the English is in the way the Guyanese character would speak. So here how he play with the syllable. He make 10 from 1. He make 10 from 1 syllable. Now that is feeling. I'm quoting from his book. The book is called The Sly Company of People Who Care, where this character is a very big fan of Rafi Saab.
Okay.
So it's basically that kind of, you listen to Sahir Saab's best songs.
Yes.
The majority of them, you will see this quality which is there.
Yes. Wonderful. So Sahir, believed to be an atheist, he was an atheist, a rebel poet, yet he wrote devotional songs like Ishwar Allah Tere Naam, Allah Tero Naam. What kind of nature was this that you discern about it?
Well, it's that is what made it a fascinating subject ना, कि अगर आदमी लीनियर है कि मैं तो डिवोशनल हूँ, मैं डिवोशनल गाने ही लिखूंगा और मैं कुछ मुखालिफत, जो कि उर्दू में एक मुझे बहुत खूबसूरत शब्द लगता है, बिकॉज वो इतनी चीज़ें डिनोट करता है और उसको इमोट भी एक तरीके से करना चाहिए कि खिलाफत, मुखालिफत मीन्स टू रिबेल, राइट. तो अगर आदमी एक डिमेंशन में ही जिएगा कि मैं तो गॉड फेयरिंग हूँ और मैं सिर्फ भजन गाऊंगा और मैं सिर्फ भगवान के गुण गाऊंगा, then there is no layering in the personality. Now here there is a personality who was not given to believing in religious scriptures or some kind of devout devotee of the Almighty, but he has penned the most beautiful bhajans, like you mentioned, from Hum Dono. Some of the other films also, I think there was a film called which had Wahida Rahman in it, I think. Was it Kajal? I think Kajal में भी एक भजन है शायद उनका है. या तो काजल है या फिर वो दूसरा है कि बाबुल की दुआएं लेती जा, वो भी काजल का है. नहीं, या मीना कुमारी थी एक फिल्म में, मुझे याद
काजल है, मीना कुमारी काजल.
तो आई थिंक दैट इज द मूवी वहीदा रहमान, जिसमें ये है जिसमें वो संग तराश, वो अपने पिछले जन्म की कुछ कहानी होती है.
Oh yeah, that is नीलकमल.
Either one of these movies has a very good beautiful bhajan. नया दौर में भी एक भजन है, भगवान के घर में ढेर नहीं,
अंधेर है. हाँ, आना है तो
आना है तो आ, राह में कुछ फेर नहीं है,
फेर नहीं
भगवान के घर में ढेर है, अंधेर नहीं है.
Yes.
So again, it's very beautiful. Again, it just shows the talent of the man, that
He could write the lyrics for the
every
situation.
for every
For the
आप
situation.
उनका वो गाना देख लीजिए फ्रॉम त्रिशूल, बहुत बाद की फिल्म है, जिसमें वो कहता है मोहब्बत बड़े काम की चीज है. शशि कपूर एंड हेमा मालिनी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द कॉज ऑफ लव एंड रोमांस एंड ऑल दैट. पर दूसरी साइड पर उन्होंने अमिताभ बच्चन का वो बयां किया है कि किताबों में छपते हैं चाहत के किस्से, हकीकत की दुनिया में चाहत नहीं है. सो अगेन
जमाने के बाजार में ये वो शय है कि जिसकी किसी को
जरूरत
नहीं है.
तो मैंने जावेद साहब से पूछा था, जावेद अख्तर साहब जिन्होंने ये फिल्म लिखी थी विद सलीम साहब, कि हाउ वाज ही एबल टू राइट. तो उन्होंने मुझे बड़ी ही सेड मैं लिखता तो मैं डायलॉग विलेन के लिए भी हूँ, तो दैट डजंट मेक मी अ विलेन. इट्स जस्ट दैट आई हैव दैट एबिलिटी. So we have to understand that this
it's a kind of an acting. They can go into the role, just delve into the role. So Tahir had an extraordinary life, isn't it? He never married.
Yeah.
And I think he was devoted to his mother. His relationships were an enigma. Yeah. Can you share with us what you learned during your research about Tahir's relationships? His friends, he was a very good friend. That's what you've written. He had a lot of friends.
No, I think I have written very clearly that, I mean, although we do not know about his own opinion about Amrita Pritam ji, the Punjabi writer, but in her own autobiography, from which I have, referred to in my book, there is an acknowledgement that Sahir was someone special and dear in her life. She talks about, कि जब वो जाते थे तो मैं उनकी आधी हाफ स्मोक्ड सिगरेट्स को मैं उनको पीती थी और मुझे लगता था कि उस धुएं में से वो ही इज अपीयरिंग फ्रॉम विद इन दोज cigarette fumes. So very she has written about him very intimately, which clearly shows that there was something clearly from her side. Whatever I have written about his from his point of view is by quoting some of the literature which is there mentioned by his friends, but nothing from him directly. Right. When I interviewed Sudha Malhotra ji, she told me, she said, maybe he was infatuated with me, but there was nothing from my side, because for one, I was much younger than him. And I think to be fair, I believed what she said, and because she also said that culturally the backgrounds were too different. And we are talking about back in the day where it was not easy to break free from one cultural background and go into the other. So she said, I was happy to get the attention that I was getting. Someone who was a very well-known songwriter was giving me good songs to sing, and I was happy to sing them, but there was nothing more than that. I got married also. So that is there. But I think more importantly, this thing that you have said also, that that presence of the mother, the fact that he was so much so devoted to her, what all sacrifices she had made to raise him. Once they break free from the father, her husband, the sacrifices that she made to raise him, I think that plays very heavily on him. So as Imroz Saab, who was Amrita ji's partner for the last 40 years of her life, he said that the problem as he saw it, which I have mentioned in the book also, is that the problem as he saw it was that he did not want to give up that space. आप मान लीजिए कि आपके जिंदगी में कोई एक आदमी है, उस आदमी की जिंदगी में फिर एक बच्चा आ जाता है. The love gets divided, no, the attention gets divided. You have your wife, you have your child. So similarly, you have your mother, you have your wife. The attention does get diverted to a certain extent. He didn't want to do that, perhaps. Plus, if you look at his poetry, there are repeated references to कि और भी ज़माने में गम है मुझे, I have to concern myself with the problems of humanity. This is a recurring theme in several of his poems. So इश्क और भूख की मारी इस दुनिया में, इश्क ही एक हकीकत नहीं कुछ और भी है, सुनील दत्त का गाया हुआ है. तो वहां से हमें पता चलता है कि ये जो लव एंड रोमांस है ये एक हद तक ठीक है, बट ही डिडंट वांट टू कंसर्न हिमसेल्फ विद मोर देन बियॉन्ड द पॉइंट, व्हिच इज व्हाई आई थिंक he died a bachelor. None of the relationships came to anywhere near to the institution of marriage. And so it is.
Right. So he passed away in 1980, as well as Rafi Saab also passed away in 1980. both two great artists of Hindi film industry, passed away within 3 months of each other. Any thoughts on this while we close, as we close?
Well, I think that जिस प्रकार का दौर चला, अगर आप 80s की म्यूजिक को सुनेंगे, I think उनका जाना उसी को they could see what was coming, and I mean it in a lighter note. Nobody, I think they were too young to have passed on at that age.
Yes.
I think Rafi Saab was also in his 50s.
55.
And Sahir Saab was 59.
Yeah.
So that is no age for people of that talent to go. They could have easily contributed for at least another decade, if not more. Lata ji was singing for Hindi cinema. What I don't know, but I know she was singing well into the 21st century. So
Yes,
there's
yes.
no reason why Rafi Saab could not have,
Yes.
or Sahir Saab could not have written. But again, मैंने इस बात को तो स्टडी किया, जैसे कि वो एंड 60s में, जैसे when that शंकर जयकिशन की पार्टनरशिप टूटी 70s में, because one of them passed away, and then Shailendra passed away in 67.
Yes.
And there is so much happening. I think 2 or 3 famous directors also passed away. Guru Dutt passed away in 64. I think Mehboob also, K. Asif passed away in 63 or 64, around that time. So, the change happens. When the established stalwarts go away, change happens. And I'm sure there must have been a change at this point also. For example, Javed Saab comes into the films of Yash Chopra, right? After Sahir Saab passes away.
Yes.
Till the last film, till Kala Patthar, which is the last film that Yash Chopra made till Sahir Saab passed away, he was the default lyricist. So every time an established figure, a preeminent figure passes on, newer energy, newer voices come in. And they definitely change the course, because they are products of their time and their age, right? So newer energies come, they give newer directions. So I'm sure, I have not studied it in that detail, but it was tragic, I would say.
Yes, but it's also a base for change, like you said. Change happens and it's continuous. That's the only thing that's continuous.
You cannot stop it.
That's very nice. Thank you for all the insight that you provided us on Sahir Saab's life. Thank you for giving us this valuable interview. We hope you can come to our Mehfil in Bangalore when we have it next.
Yes.
A face-to-face one, not a
sure.
Online one. And please come and visit us and interact with our members. It will be a great pleasure for us. Thank you so much for giving us your
Thank you so much, Beena ji, and thank you so much to the Bar Bar Rafi Forum for giving me the opportunity to talk about Sahir Saab, and it's his centenary year, and I value the opportunity, and it has been my pleasure to interact with you.
Thank you.